So back around, so this here, oh man, this story involves, well, really, it's all about celebrity. So, you know, TWF, we'd been around for about 5 years at that point, and so I guess, what year was this? 1989? Yeah, I guess 1989. And we weren't still very big at that point, but we had developed a bit of a following in the neighborhood, and so I mean we were feeling good about ourselves. People, they weren't laughing at us as much. The neighbors didn't complain as much about all the delinquent children leaving trash on their front yard. And the quality of wrestling was at a point where we were able to do body slams. One of the wrestlers, I think it was, who I can't remember now, could actually throw a punch that looked like a punch. We were getting pretty advanced there, and so we were feeling pretty good with ourselves because of what we had achieved at that point. But see, this is what the celebrity just broke it open. And what I mean by celebrity was the Jake took a trip down to L.A. for, what was it? This is 98? No, I'm sorry, 89. Dyslexic. So 89, he was down there for the premiere of a movie or something. He wasn't invited. He was just a huge fan. Must have been, was it RoboCop 2? Maybe it was the first RoboCop. I don't remember. But it was something Jake was a huge fan of. He wouldn't shut the hell up about it. He just kept going on and on. When this movie comes out, it's going to be the greatest movie of all time. I'm going to be there for the premiere. I'm not going to miss it. I want to be the first. I want to be there when the first time they show it. You know, and I was just like, God damn, Jake, it's a movie. Get over it. You know, I mean, not get over it, but I think you're making too big of a deal out of this or whatever. And then he disappeared for like 2 weeks, probably because he probably had to walk the last half of the way. At the time, he was driving this beat-up-ass car, and I can't imagine him trying to drive that thing down to L.A. But anyway, whatever happened, he was gone for 2 weeks. No one heard from him, and you know, so we kept wrestling, wondering where the hell is the Jake. And then one day he shows up again, and on his arm, no joke, was Lonnie Anderson. Lonnie Anderson. The story is Jake went to go to the premiere, and of course he didn't get in, probably because he looked like the homeless person that he looks like. They didn't let him in. He wasn't invited. So then I guess he wandered around Hollywood for a couple days and was trying to find a way to get home, you know, find money for the bus. And so then, see, this is where it gets weird. I don't remember exactly how we ended up with Lonnie. We're still good friends. I should ask her, but if I remember correctly, the Jake, how did he get money? How did he get the money? He made some money somehow. Was it? Anyway, he came up on some money. Now apparently if I remember correctly. Like I said, I don't remember this exactly. But he had enough money for the Greyhound to get home at that point. But the Jake being the Jake, and being in Hollywood, and being the celebrity hound, or what? It wasn't even. It wasn't like the Jake was into celebrities. It was like he was into show business. You know, anything associated with show business was the big time. And so him being in Hollywood, although he was sleeping on the streets for 2 nights, you could, well, I mean, my guess, I wasn't there, was that he was just so, it's like, oh my God, I'm here. He didn't want to leave. So then when he did get enough money to actually take the bus back, did Jake take the bus back? No, he figured, oh, I got enough money to take the bus, but I want to go check out the Rainbow Room first. I think he thought like Motley Crue would be there or something. So he heads over to the Rainbow Room, but in the afternoon time. In the afternoon, Motley Crue is not going to be partying at 1 in the afternoon. So he goes into the Rainbow Room. It's nearly completely empty. There's like no one there, okay? And Jake's drinking. He gets to a point where he's obviously spent more than he could, or he spent too much of the money for him to be able to buy a ticket at that point. So Jake, or the Jake being who he is, said, fuck it, just started pounding shots of probably Midori or something. And so then Lonnie, who happened to be in the neighborhood shooting a commercial for Oldsmobile, she's actually friends with the owner of the Rainbow Room, so she just thought she'd stop in, and she walks in, and the first thing she sees is Jake puking over by the jukebox. And if you know Lonnie, you know that she can't not help someone. So as soon as she saw the Jake, her mind immediately went to, how can I help this guy? How can I help this guy? He's obviously just totally, I mean, look at him. He's disgusting. He's puking on the jukebox. And so Lonnie asks him, would you want to come back to my place? You can clean up, and then, you know, all this stuff. So Jake mumbles, or I don't know how, he ended up back at her place. He's cleaning up, you know, he ends up sleeping on the couch. He stays there for, God, I don't know how many days. That was probably where he stayed the longest. And this is when the divorce between Lonnie and Bert was not final yet, you know. But Bert was off shooting, God, what was the movie? I don't remember. I think it may have been like Malone or something. And so he wasn't at the house, and I have no idea what Jake could have possibly said or done to have made Lonnie fall in love with him, but somehow she did. And what's even stranger was that Jake couldn't care less. Or, I mean, he was somewhat attracted to her, but he was more concerned with I'm not even sure what he was more concerned with. He was not into Lonnie Anderson. And then but she made him go out with her. They started the paparazzi started taking pictures of her with the Jake. And so the Jake started to develop this notoriety. But see, the Jake being the Jake, he couldn't care less that he was getting notoriety from being, Lonnie Anderson's arm candy. No, what Jake wanted was, because he'd gone down there for what? For RoboCop 2 or RoboCop. He wanted to be known as some kick-ass bad dude. So in a way, he was actually kind of embarrassed by the whole deal. He felt like it made him look weak, like he was her little bitch or something. And so he got fed up, and he said, I'm going back to Tracy. And Lonnie, you know, she cried, oh, please don't go, please don't go. And Jake was like, no, I have to go back. You know, the boys, they don't know where I'm at, and, you know, I'm supposed to be wrestling, and I mean, that's yada, yada, yada. And then Lonnie, to the surprise of everyone, decided, oh, I'm going to go with you. I mean, that's how in love she was with the Jake. And so then Lonnie comes up to Tracy with the Jake. She even called her agent and said, I'm thinking about retiring from show business. I think I may want to get into wrestling. And her agent, you know, he was completely, well, from what I heard, he couldn't understand it at all. No one could. I couldn't. And so then she came up. You know, it didn't last long. It only lasted like a couple weeks before she went back. I think she got tired of sleeping on Jake's mom's couch with him. So, but the upshot out of this is that TWF, although the Federation wasn't mentioned on the cover, the Jake was mentioned on the cover of the Inquirer. Him and Lonnie Anderson were on the cover of excuse my language, cover of the Inquirer together. And it said, what did it say? What did it say? It said, oh, that's what it said. It said Lonnie and the Loser. And then it was, they were both made to look like, she was supposed to look like, the cover was made to look like the movie poster for Smokey and the Bandit, with Lonnie playing Burt Reynolds' role, and I can't remember who Jake was supposed to be. And then it said Lonnie and the Jake. I don't remember exactly, but it had his name. It said The Jake on the front of the Inquirer. It was unbelievable. And of course, it built up our reputation. You know, that got us a ton of eyeballs. We probably had, after that, there was probably about 12 to 13 people that would watch us regularly on public access. All because of that. All just because of that. 12 to 13 people. I mean, before that, the only person that was watching regularly, because I mean, us wrestlers, it was bad wrestling. We weren't watching it either. But it was big ass Steve Castro. That was the only person. So that was the story of the Jake and Lonnie Anderson, which is still pretty funny. I still give Lonnie crap about it, and yeah, I don't think she finds it nearly as funny as I do.